I like to take photos, especially when I travel to Greece. I carry my camera wherever I go usually, and pay attention to the surroundings very carefully for things that interest me, especially during sunrise and sunset. Those are the two periods that produce usually the best colors, as well as extreme contrast with lights and darks. Sometimes I have to take 100 photos, and of those 100, 10 will be good enough for me to look very carefully at and consider for a future project. And of those 10, possibly only 1 or 2 will make the cut at the very end. But of those hundreds and hundreds of photos you might have taken, there is that one photo that you snapped where the stars aligned, say composition, lighting, and subject matter, and you say to yourself, this is definitely going to be a painting. That is why I got excited a while back in 2019. I was in the mountain range of Grevena, Greece. I was enjoying the scenery with my godbrother, and I was taken away when I saw a bunch of horses nearby. They were natives of the area, and in ways wild. Without hesitation, I just started to snap a lot of photos. But that was not good enough. I tried to get even closer to them. After all, a camera's zoom has its limitations. Originally, I thought I was going to only be able to pull off one of the close-ups, but just about everyone does a close-up, or just one horse, or two. Besides, the whole experience was not just the horses, it was the landscape as well. The goal was, in the end, to be able to stare at the painting and feel like I am standing there in front of the horses in the cold winter snow. A popular question I usually like to ask people is, how many horses are in this painting? Well, if you really want to know, check out my Instagram, not your typical painter of course, and look at the image and try to look very carefully and count every horse you see, and leave me a comment on this video and I'll let you know if you are right. And if you really are up to it, how many trees did I paint? I'm just kidding. Don't go insane trying to count them. Anyhow, another reason why I went with a full landscape versus just a close-up or a handful of horses was because after completing Between Heaven and Earth, my city of Galambaka painting, I actually thought it would be easier to do a landscape with lots of horses. That city painting was the most difficult painting I have ever done at one point. The only one more difficult is my most recent one, Red Poppies 3. Anyhow, besides painting the horses, and lots of trees of course, I actually never have painted snow, or at least an abundance of it, and I have to say, it was quite fun painting snow, especially the tracks that the horses left behind, and areas where it was melted and some grass was visible. The whole experience was quite enjoyable. If you have never painted snow, definitely try it one day. You will see what I'm talking about. If anything, the most frustrating part of this painting was doing all the little trees. At one point, I actually was trying to capture each one where they were, and then at one point I realized I do not want to spend an eternity trying to capture every tree and bush in the distance exactly where they were. So I improvised, and instead I mimicked the pattern I saw and painted the trees accordingly. Another minor difficulty I had was painting the dark horses, especially the ones that were almost pure black. First, I want to say, I did not use black out of the tube. All the darks that you see are from Viridian and Alizarin Crimson. I actually made a video about creating black with those two colors. I go into detail how you could give it a more reddish tone or greenish tone. Check it out if you're interested. Anyways, the difficulty was not from mixing blacks. It was mostly because the horses in the photo had a flat-like appearance. I had to improvise and create colors to help give them more definition and a sense of volume. Also, Photoshop was helpful. I used the shadows and highlights feature to help bring out the details. It's a great feature, especially if you have a reference photo with a lot of darks and you want to capture the hidden details. Anyways, another reason why I was very interested in doing this painting is because I live in California now, and I have never seen snow here, at least in LA County. I used to live nearby Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and it actually snowed there. And also, prior to 2019, I have never visited Greece in the winter. It was always the summer, and I thought it'd be a nice change for once. Plus, airplane tickets were a lot cheaper. That was a nice bonus. So, after not seeing snow for almost 15 years, and never seeing snow ever in Greece, capturing landscape photography with snow was definitely a goal of mine, and the horses were definitely a bonus. That's why when I look back at this painting, I don't think of it too much as a horse painting. I view it as a landscape, and there just happens to be some horses in it. But I have to say, it was very challenging to paint in the cold winter. I attempted to do a landscape at one point when I was there, from the comfort of my balcony though, but it was impossible to do, or at least maybe I was just not prepared. But it was cold and it was windy. So during that time, I only completed 4 paintings, and one is technically unfinished, and they were all from photos. I suppose spring, summer, and fall are definitely more suitable, at least for artists, if they want to do observational landscapes. With that said, I definitely want to visit Greece again in the winter. A good portion of my stay did not have snow, and that was actually kind of disappointing. I had to go deep into the mountains to see snow that has not melted yet. After all, I was there in February, pretty much the end of winter. Plus, I feel like I have become a better photographer too. One major blunder I did during my stay in the winter, I did not have my camera set to the highest resolution. It was the second highest, and that was quite a bummer. Especially for me, a person who likes to capture a lot of detail. My photos during spring 2022 were definitely a lot better. Well, it helped that I got a new camera too, but I made sure the resolution was to the max. Despite that blunder on my behalf, I still feel like I captured some nice photos. Less than a year ago, I actually looked back into my old photos and I ended up using one from this period. The one that featured the Grevena Bazaar, which was an outdoor market that happened every Friday there. But I always wonder what could have been if my resolution was set to the max. Especially for the city painting I did between heaven and earth. Anyways, no need to dwell into the past. Instead, I look at it as a learning experience from my error. With that said, this year I am going to Greece again. Actually, I am creating this video right before I leave, and its release will be around the time when my trip is about to end. I definitely will not see snow, and there's a good chance I will not see poppies. But then again, I am kinda sick and tired of painting them, especially after the frustration of completing Red Poppies 3. But I suppose it would have been nice to take new photos of them. I do not know what I'm gonna capture this time, or what my next paintings will be. I definitely have my acrylic paint with me, as well as some small canvases. The largest sizes I have are 12 by 16, and some are as small as 8 by 10. But for sure, I'm definitely gonna have my eyes open. Something is surely gonna grab my attention. And like before, my camera will be with me the whole time. Yes, I will do some observational paintings too, and some from photos, or a combination of both. For sure, something I definitely want to continue is capturing photos of homeless cats, and some dogs too, but mostly cats. They have a special place in my heart, especially since my cat, Sweetie, who recently passed away, was a homeless cat as well. I do plan on doing 2 paintings of her, at least once my mind is more set, but until then, I want to honor her spirit by doing more cat paintings. So I will definitely take lots and lots of photos of cats. But during the time, I am hoping I will snap that one photo where I will say, this is definitely going to be a great painting. I said that with the horses in 2019, and in 2022, definitely with the sheep. Especially how the sun set at the very end. After such a very cloudy day, the sun pierced right through the clouds and created the most golden light I have ever seen. Originally, I was just trying to capture the sheep, but once that beautiful orange lighting started to cover the landscape, it made that moment even better. Especially once the sheep started to notice me and even come closer. It was quite a surreal moment. I snapped probably 30 photos during this time. I knew one photo would make the cut for sure. Sadly, I do not feel the photographs I took represent the golden orange light I saw. That is why I exaggerated the sky when I painted Bartolocos Fields 8, the sheep painting. But even though I did not capture that light, I knew I was going to make a painting based on that experience. And when I mean experience, I mean everything from the sheep approaching me to the golden light and the landscape I observed during that day. Just like my horse painting, Restless Natives, I wanted to feel like I was there once again. That is what I'm shooting for during my trip this time. To capture a moment like that where I say, this is going to be a great painting. And when I create it, I want to stand up at one point and look at the canvas and feel the experience I felt that day when I took the photo. The sounds, the smell, everything. That is why I kinda also dislike it when people say my paintings look like a photo. Of my most recent work, the only thing I will say is close to a photo is Red Poppies 2. And I was not actually aiming for photorealism, it just happened. Especially because of all the little details I captured in the photo, like the water drops. But my ultimate goal is illusionism. Yes, I do exaggerate certain things like color, but when a viewer stares at a painting of mine, I want them to see what I see and experience what I experienced. That is my ultimate goal, creating the illusion that you are there. And it is something I am trying to get better at too. Lastly, I want to say that the reason I did this video was because in the past, I've broken down this painting into episodes. Definitely check them out if you want in-depth detail on how I did them. But I always wanted to create a video of this painting from beginning to end. And I felt like now was the perfect time to release it. I definitely want to do one also for Bartolocos Fields 8, but I have quite a lot of footage for that one, and it will take a lot longer to edit. But in time I will. Plus, someone I know is writing a story that will accompany the footage. If he fails, I will just release it on my own. So hopefully you enjoyed this. And let me know if you want me to do more storytelling and just regular commentary versus just talk about how I created a painting. I will still do those videos, but I feel like I don't get to speak my mind out sometimes. And I felt this was a nice change for once. Anyways, if you made it to the end, thanks for watching. I truly appreciate it. I do not know what the future waits for me. During the recording of this video, I have not left yet for Greece. It is right now August 11th, and I will not be back till September 9th. I will definitely take lots of photos and videos too. I probably will do another video on photography, where I go through all my photos and try to select the best ones, and I will even let the viewers pick the photo that will become my next painting, especially if I get a lot of comments that lean towards a favorite. I will try to post some things while I'm there, both on my Instagram account, Not Your Typical Painter, and also on my YouTube community page. So definitely stay tuned. Anyhow, my name is Charlambos. I go by Bob, and I'm not your typical painter. Until next time, bye.